Next on the stage, we have Barbara. Barbara has an affair of the heart with Petunia. Barbara is from Seattle. Petunia is factory fresh with every breath she takes. Welcome to the stage. Woo.
Oh, good evening. This is a great place to be. It's very, like Marianne said, it's very patriotic, although I think if they had a picture of the current president, this would be a hostile worker environment. So, I am probably the first comic you'll see tonight that has been literally dead. I had heart surgery about 6 months ago, and and I at one point the doctor, was ready to knock me out, and I came back to life because I just have too much work to do. I have too many things to do to lie around in a graveyard. So. As you might expect, I'm kind of a loser. When I was a kid, my father took me to Philadelphia Phillies games, just in time to watch them lose 23 games in a row. And I had dreams of working for the Philadelphia Bulletin. I was a bulletin carrier when I was a kid, and then when I grew up, I started working for a little tech company here in Seattle. It's called Microsoft, yeah. And I was really high in my dreams, but I didn't work. I was a writer for a national computer magazine, and I had to cover this little company. And I had an opportunity to buy Microsoft stock at $14 a share. Like I said, I'm a loser. But after all, my mother had 3 kids, one of each. Took a little while, but anyway, now I am 71 years old. I am so happy to be able to say that. I'm happy to be here at the quarter mile. I'm happy to be anywhere. And like I said, I did. Actually, I'm not really 71. My vagina is 29. So that makes me a millennial. And I've been around, I hear a lot of talk. By the way, I want you to get a big hand for Marilyn Riley. She's, I'm kind of, it's great to see her tonight. She's proof that I'm alive, and I didn't even know that I would run into her tonight, so I'm really happy to see her. Like I said, I was dead for a while, literally, and it's because I have all these different bad habits. Like some of the folks here have mentioned tonight, how they drink a lot and get plastered. I have been sober my entire life. 71 years, clean and sober. It's amazing. Of course, I was sober for a reason. I had to go out, and I had my penis removed when I was stone cold sober. Imagine what I could do if I were drunk. But my biggest problem has always been food. Oh, I love food. I love to get stuffed. And I have, that's what makes me the biggest loser of all, because I have, over my lifetime, I think I've lost about 600 pounds. Not all at once, but I would lose 100 and gain back 150. I would lose, I'd lose 50, gain back 75, and that's what the way I would deal with food. And food just calls out to me, like some of those drinks that Marilyn has from now on. They just jump out of the table. They come, and they come, and they enter my stomach. Have any of you ever eaten snowballs? It's like chocolate and marshmallow and crinkles. 10,000 calories per bite. And it is crappy as hell. I am what I am today because of snowballs. But I still remember my many, many, many tours of duty at Weight Watchers. But the biggest time of all was that night when the instructor looked me right in the eye and held up a package of Bar S Biggies, 10 hot dogs. And she slapped that package right on her hips like this and said, "This is what you lose when you lose 1 pound." Then I lost 150 pounds. 150 pounds! And, and that package of 10 hot dogs is just 1 pound. And I was thinking 1,500 pounds or 150 pounds is 1,500 wieners. And I was just trying to lose 1. Yeah. I do a lot of traveling in comedy and in my work. And one of my favorite trips ever was to Mississippi. I went down there not long after Hurricane Katrina, 10 years ago. And it was a fascinating time. And there was all kinds of entertainers. We all went down there to help in the cleanup. And then we did a comedy show. And I got to stand in front of a Mississippi audience and tell them who I am. Talk about terrifying. But I had all kinds of questions after my set. And the very first question I had, are you proof that God makes mistakes? Huh? Well, actually, I am proof not that God makes mistakes. I am proof that God has a sense of humor. And then they started with technical questions. They said, so what happens to your testicles after sex reassignment surgery. Or as they put it in Mississippi, where's your balls, man? And I said, well, whenever a lesbian bites down on a Rocky Mountain oyster somewhere in Colorado, a transsexual earns her wings. Finally, they asked the big question of the night. And they said, what did you pay for that vagina? I said, $12,000. They looked at me like, that's a lot of money. I said, no, it's not. It's what New York Governor Eliot Spitzer pays for 4 lousy hours with a whore. And I said to them, how much think, especially you guys out there, think of what you pay to romance that vagina in your life. Tonight it's a couple of drinks. Tomorrow it's dinner and a movie. By the end of the week, you're in Las Vegas and you're buying a house and a baby crib. Just think of that old song, and you, instead of marrying an ugly woman for the rest of your life, you, sir, you could be an ugly woman for the rest of your life. Well, when you talk about marriage and love and all that, it's something I can't do any jokes on because I never experienced anything like that. So I'm available. All you, well, I've pretty much given up on guys. Yeah, it's been, except for the cute one over there by the bar. We'll talk a little later. Most of my lesbian affairs, they seem to end lickety-split. But, I just can't deal with romance, I guess. So I've pretty much become, a virgin. And that's important because especially for some of you out there tonight, think about this, especially you young people. Consider this. If you want to grow up and be a suicide bomber, think about this. I could be one of those 72 virgins waiting for you. And with that, I think I will turn over the stage. Thank you so much.